Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Deadly Spark and welcome back to Prince of Persia Warrior Within. Now today we are going to continue where we left off. We just finished the first tower, we are on to the second tower, and we got to get ready to be able to get into that position. I wasn't expecting her to still be here after a reload, but here we are. Now we've got to switch to the way to get up to the second tower. This is the way to get back where we came from. Like, originally. And we've already done the secret room down below. So, now, it is just this. And, I was gonna say, I have to find out which way to go, but, it seems like I remembered fairly quickly where I needed to go. Oh, hello. I don't want to do that yet. Get me up! Oh, fine, I'll go the long way. Oh. Fine. I'll do it your way, game. There we go. New artwork. Hi. Take that. This, is there anything over here? I don't remember. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, come on. Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, for crying out loud. Whoa! Here we go. Oh, yes, this. But first, there is artwork we must collect. I always remember this one because of the time I fell down. Hopefully it's this one. Yeah, it is. Oh, I should have used it. I was gonna use some sands to turn back time at that bit before, but I'm like, nah, I probably won't be able to stock them up. But I guess I was. And now that I think about it, it makes total sense. Why did it jump there? Because you got to do slow motion to get across this, because even with that, that's already moving. And interesting. Ah, I see. I couldn't see that bit sticking out before. I'm like, how do I do this again? Jump. Tap. So, now we roll. I don't think there's an artwork down below on this one. No, there is not. But there is a handy dandy save point to recover our health, which we lost stupidly. And we will take that as our opportunity to move ourselves along. Now, look at this.
So Babylon is not the only place to discover the wonders of hanging gardens. Ours, however, do not provide sanctuary to monsters.
Attack him now! My abilities could be put to their use.
These enemies should be a little bit easier to face now with this new weapon.
Closer.
Oh, come on. Because I got my weapons out, it's not letting me climb the wall. Come on.
My abilities could be put to their use.
There we go. Oh, look at that, gone already. That was a shame that none of that makes contact. I have actually gone this way first, as the first tower, which is definitely an interesting way to go. It definitely is a lot harder if you choose this tower as the first tower to go for. because in doing so, you have to fight those enemies immediately with the Serpent Sword instead of the Line Sword, instead of being introduced to them the way that you are in the first place. But once you then get to the next place with this sword, it makes that whole next area ridiculously easy at the start, because you just got to face a bunch of enemies that the game did not expect you to be facing with the weapon that you then have, which is a line sword. Up we go. This would probably be a better weapon too, so we'll take that. But yeah, that is an interesting thing for sure, especially like fighting these sons of bitches that you don't have to worry about with like the Serpent Sword instead of this, which you get to fight these with normally, and that definitely changes the approach on how you go about some of the things in this area. Because you do face these a fair amount in this section. And to me it seems like they're clearly intended to be just a nuisance, not like a boss. Like they are the first time you face them with the Spider Sword. And they're really quite difficult to actually take down. Oh. That's not helpful. Well, I guess we're not dealing with him. Yeah. So they effectively feel a bit more like bosses, those things, when you fight them with the Serpent Sword, rather than just somewhat of a hassle. Like, and these are like clearly the grunts of this section. But like, when you have this sword, but they don't feel like grunts at all. They feel like the stronger enemies, with like the Raven bosses as even stronger ones, when in reality it's more like the same as the previous tower, with the yeah, we'll save here, with the basic enemies with the Serpent Sword, and then those enemies in red with like as like the stronger enemies that you have to deal with. And then you get the Line Sword for this area, where the ones in red become the basic enemies, and the Raven things become like one of the stronger variants instead. But as I said, if you do that whole Serpent Sword business here instead of like by doing it first, then well, you got yourself a problem, because you make this bit extra hard, and look at that. You make this bit extra hard, but then the next bit extra easy. I mean, look at that. Because I don't know I'm here. I mean, this would, with the Serpent Sword, this is too difficult when they don't know you're here. Oh, where did the fourth one come from? Oh. I mean, you can even see, like, that enemy. Usually, like, a little bit of a pain, though easy if you do this. The Line Swords made them a piece of cake. Ooh. I'm everywhere. Yeah, I noticed. Ooh, you're doing well today. There we go. Time's up. It's definitely an interesting way to play the game, though, if you want like a little bit more of a challenge, by taking this area first. Also, this little sneak of a secret room is the one that I almost always forget. and I'm glad I have not forgotten it this time. This is the one I usually have to come back for at the end and go, which one did I miss? Another great thing about this game though, because of its open world nature compared to the previous one, if you miss a secret room, it's not a big deal. You can go back and find it. Hey. And I do really appreciate that about this game. I mean, I don't know if any of you guys that might or might not be watching saw my series on the first game. Hello. There was one bit that that I went past, and there was a bunch of glitching. It was the one where the ow. It was the one where the glitching happened, where the box was like flying off into the distance, and there was nothing that could be done about it. And look at this, we got this one quite easily. And I missed a secret room between that and the prison, and then when I went back to see if I could fix it, I ended up finding it, but that was the only way I would have been able to get back to it, is going back to save. But in this, you can get anywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can go all the way back to the starting location with a stick. Like, just by going back to the right places and going through the right portals, you can just go all the way back to the start. We're gonna say, what the fuck are you doing? And now we got extra life, so that's nice. But yeah, we just like in this game, and it wasn't until like, you know, years later when because I used to play these games years and years ago. It wasn't until years later that I found out that this game is actually not liked as much by some people. Like, it's either the best game of the entire trilogy for people or the worst, and there's no real in between. And I think people just didn't appreciate the switch up to the Dark Prince. And I don't know, it's a little bit disappointing, some of the things I've read that say that it's just, you know, whatchamacallit. There was one that said that it's, you know, the prince is running away from the Dark Prince, and it's just replaced everything with new metal and stuff like that. And I can get people not liking like the soundtrack and stuff. But like, I don't know, there's some things where people just blatantly say wrong things. Like the running away from the Dark Prince, or like a dark version of himself. That is just wrong. It's like people saw like one look at one aspect and went, that's what it's about. When in reality, he's running away from fate and destiny, and he's desperate. Oh look, there's that ship. And well, he's desperate, and that's like such a huge thing about this game, is that sheer desperation that he's going to, and where that would take you, like what places that would take you. Like he's gone on the dark route because of what he's had to deal with. And like it is. Where am I going? It's a rope. He's on this. He's not like. They didn't just go dark for going dark, is basically what I'm saying. Or it's a storytelling device to say like, yeah, this has happened because of this. From the, like, it's like not like they ignored the previous game either. Like, look at that. The previous game, like everything that happened in the previous game is having a direct impact on this. Like the whole running away from the Dahaka and running away from fate is because in the previous game they say he opened the sands, he was meant to die, but he didn't die because he put the sands back. He made it as if it never happened. Oh, fair enough. And well, that wasn't meant to happen. So the Dahaka has been sent after him to correct that shift in the timeline. Aha!
Do you see now how it's done?
I have more important matters to attend to.
And because of that, now he has to he's trying to change his fate. He's been looking into every way possible to change his fate, and he was led to the island where the Empress created, you know, the sands, and now he has to try and stop that. And it's all in an effort to save himself. And I think that's like a fascinating direction to take the story, because it's almost like a case study of like what would you do if you were pushed all the way to the edge? Like, how far would you go? And that's sort of pretty much how this has gone. Like, he's going to all these great significant lengths to prevent everything from happening. You know, if the sands aren't, I think he said if the sands aren't created, then, you know, I think that was the thing. If the sands aren't created, the Dahaka doesn't have any quarrel with him and will leave him alone. Look at that. We can't go over there yet. Shame. And it's again, it's a really good direction to take the story, in my opinion. I mean, I reckon it would have been partly a disservice to the character if he was the same happy-go-lucky guy that he was at the start, you know, thinking he's this, you know, like all his perceptions were challenged in the first game, and it changed him as a person. And then you gotta challenge that perception in the next game, or else it's just more of the same. I mean, even like the soundtrack I think is great, but that's just my take. That might just be entirely biased by my musical preferences. But there's still not, it's not entirely gotten rid of that, you know, Middle Eastern sound, you know? Like, you can still hear it, like, especially in this bit right here. It's still, like, ever present. That's not what I needed to do. Yeah, it's some of the criticisms that I see on this game seem like they just directly ignore, like, blatantly aspects of the game.
Pay attention. This is what becomes of those who cross me.
they sort of double back on it a little bit in the third one, for all I know. From what I've heard. Some people hated it, and some people thought it was good, and I've seen some people call it a half-assed apology. And I don't really know what to say about that, because I have not completed the first game. And nothing's gonna happen in that shot. Yeah. Comment below what your opinions are, if you have any. But, yeah. I think the fact that this challenges the perception of the prince is the reason why this is such a good game. Would you look at that? We have opened the door. And we can move on to the next part of this section. I think this actually is a portal to the past. And we've actually gotten through this part really, really quickly. This could be a shorter episode for you guys. Because I think an end will be apt at the next portal we go to. Oh, hello. Bye. Yeah, we'll get rid of you. Bye. Yep, here we go. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, feel free to hit the like button. If you enjoy this content and want to see more, feel free to subscribe. Leave a comment below on what you thought. But for now, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!